What's going on, guys? I'm your host Beau here to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on anything going on in the world of entertainment. And last night I checked out A Quiet Place. I'm going to give you guys my review of the film. Do not worry, there will not be any spoilers in this review. Um, so if you have not seen the film, do not worry, it's spoiler free. So what is A Quiet Place? A Quiet Place deals with a family. It's in a post-apocalyptic world, and the family has to make absolutely no sounds, no big sounds at all. They can't speak either, because if there's any noises of any sort, there will be these types of creatures that will then hunt them down and kill them. So that's basically the gist of the plot. And I was very much looking forward to the film. You guys saw my reviews of the trailers. I was very much looking forward to the film because of the concept. I was very much intrigued by the concept of the characters not being able to speak or make any sounds. I think that that's a very interesting concept for a horror film, and just an interesting concept for a film in general. Um, so that was the main reason why I went to see the film, is just by the concept alone. And I gotta tell you, I was skeptical going in because I think that I was thinking to myself, this either could be a really good film or this could be a really bad one because this concept can the way that this concept of the characters not being able to speak, this could go one way or it could go the other. And I'm going to tell you that this concept was done very, very well. This was a great movie. I was very much happy with A Quiet Place. So we're going to get into my positives, my negatives, and my overall score out of 10, as we always do. So let's just jump right into the positives. Um, the first positive that I got to give the film right off the bat is they give great development for each individual character. The only one that I would say didn't get a lot of development was the little boy. I feel like he should have gotten a little bit more development, but the other ones are all very well established. They're all very well established characters. You understand each other's emotions, and you feel connected to them um, emotionally. So I really love the development of them because usually with horror films nowadays, they don't really give a whole lot of development to their characters. They just throw in the characters just so they can have a character or a person on screen for their monsters to come and kill them, or to have them as jump scare material, so they can set up a jump scare or something. Um, but I'm very glad to report that these characters are not just throwaway characters. They have meaning to them. They're very um, relatable characters, especially the kids. I could very much relate with the kids, and the kids are very well acted. I was concerned about the kids walking in, but they did a great job. They both brought it performance-wise, especially the girl. The girl was great. I was very surprised by her. Um, she did a great job with her face. I thought that her facial expressions were great. I thought her attitude was interesting. Um, she was great. I really liked her. The boy, again, I think that the character, I think as a character, could have been a little bit more developed, but the performance was great. I thought that the boy did a great job. The other thing that I loved was the story. I loved how immersive and emotional the story was as well. That's the thing that I was actually kind of surprised with the film is that, um, you're expecting it to be a horror film, but I was very much surprised how emotional and immersive it was because um, I wasn't expecting that amount of emotion in this film. There was a good chunk of the film where they really focus on the characters and not much on the monsters or the horror aspect of it. And I was worried about that at first, but once you watch it and you delve more into the story, it makes perfect sense why you give this much screen time and development for these characters because you really get to connect with them on an emotional level, and they're just very well developed, and it's surprisingly emotional in terms of the story. I mean, yeah, it's there are some scary moments, and it is very intense, but it's pretty much an emotional story when you really think about it. So that shocked me was how emotional the film was. Um, and yes, of course, with your horror film, you're gonna get a lot of jump scares, and I will tell you there are actually some very well placed jump scares. There are some cliche ones, as you know, you always find in some of these horror films. But in this particular one, there were some very well placed jump scares. It got me a couple times during the film. I think like 2 or 3 times I reacted to jump scares in this film. It was very intense. There are some very scary moments in the film, and I think the reason why this film was pretty scary for me was because that you really got to connect with these characters on an emotional level, and thus the events that they go through become very, very intense and scary. Particularly when we get to the second and third act of the film, where stuff really starts to happen. You really feel for the characters on an emotional level, and thus the events they go through just become super intense and scary. Um, so, especially this a bathtub scene. There's like a whole bathtub scene that happens. You've seen it in the trailer. The way that's done on the way that they did that scene was to me very, very intense. Now, let's talk about Emily Blunt for a second. She was the by far the best performance in this entire film. She brought in a really good performance. Like, I'm not sugarcoating it. It's probably one of the best performances that I've seen all year so far. And again, it's only March, so I can't, say that, it's one of the best performances of the year, but so far of what I've seen so far this year, Emily Blunt stands out to me from A Quiet Place. She brought an incredible performance in the film. You really get to connect with her very, very emotionally, and you very, very much understand her as a character. Um, the monsters, the creatures themselves. In the trailers, you don't really get to see them as much, but when you see them in the film, they do look scary. Their designs are very much creepy. They are. I can't say too much about the creatures because I feel like that'd be a big spoiler. But needless to say that their designs are creepy. They were designed very, very well, and their interesting technique of 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 the interesting way that they brought about the monsters in the film. Um, they're not just giant monsters. They have some development as well. So I'll just put it that way. I really love the message and the themes in this film as well. It's not just monsters running around. There's a message in the film which I really really liked. Um, there's a message about like family and protecting the ones you love. I really like that message. Now, in terms of what I didn't like, I thought the beginning was a little slow. I think that the beginning could have been a little bit faster paced, but I understood why it was slow. I think that I actually kind of prefer it to be a little bit slow because it was like developing the characters in the beginning, and I appreciated it being slow. I just wished it was a little bit faster. And now the ending. I've heard some people have a lot of complaints about the ending. A lot of people hate the ending or don't really like where it ends precisely. I understand why they did it. I kind of wish the ending had a little bit more time, like they had a little bit more stuff to show. But I understand why they ended it like that. And I wasn't mad about the ending. I thought the ending worked fine. I just think that it wasn't like, anything amazing towards the end. Um, but overall, A Quiet Place is one of the best films of the year so far, in my opinion. It is very, very, very good. It's a must see in the theater. That's what I'll say. This is a movie that you should see in the theater. I could see you watching, Ready Player One and Black Panther, those types of films. I could see you guys watching like on a Blu-ray or something. But this particular film, think I would highly recommend you see in a theater with a big crowd of people. Bring a lot of friends with you because it's very, very intense. There are some very, very scary moments. Great characters, great performances, a really great concept that's used very, very well. I'm going pretty high with my score. I'm going to give A Quiet Place a 9.4 out of 10 and 94% a solid A. It's one of the best films of the year so far. It's really, really good. I was very much impressed with the film. And I don't know if it's my favorite film of the year so far. It's definitely up there. I have to think about it, but it's very much one of the best films of the year so far. So, um, yeah, guys, that's it for my review for A Quiet Place. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys let me know. Did you guys see A Quiet Place? Did you guys enjoy it? Let me know in the comment section below. Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? What do you guys want to see next from John Krasinski? Let me know in the comment section below. And that's it for my review for A Quiet Place. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace.